Over a century ago, Mary MacKillop said, "Seek first the poorest and most neglected parts of God's vineyard." Little did she realise that those words would be just as relevant today as they were then. Mary MacKillop International works in the spirit of the Sisters of St. Joseph to bring dignity through education, health and livelihoods, spreading the charism of Mary MacKillop in Timor-Leste, Peru, and with your support across the globe.
I met Angelina last month when I was in Timor-Leste with Mary MacKillop International. I remember Angelina well because her story had a particularly strong impact on me. For close to a decade, Angelina has volunteered 5 days a week as a teacher at her local primary school. She lives with her husband, a carpenter, and their 5 children in a very simple 2-bedroom house. In a country that's slowly emerging from decades of occupation and violence, during which time hundreds of thousands of people lost their lives and 75% of the population was displaced, it seemed to me that Angelina was so happy to be able to contribute to building a positive future for her country. Until MMI started paying her a small volunteer stipend of just $75 per month, Angelina had not been paid a cent for her work as a teacher. The MMI teacher training workshop she attended earlier this year was really the first formal training Angelina had ever received, and yet, day in, day out for over 7 years, she had been teaching a classroom full of children. Angelina is not alone. Unpaid volunteer teachers with limited or no formal training are commonly used by schools in Timor-Leste. A recent survey reported that a quarter of teachers are volunteers and half of all teachers have education only to secondary level. It's therefore not surprising that at the end of grade 2, around 40% of Timorese students are unable to read a single word. I was fortunate enough to be invited into Angelina's classroom to watch her teaching. Her love of learning and genuine passion for educating children really resonated with me, and it was here that I saw the spirit of Mary MacKillop in full force. Angelina's job is certainly not easy. Every day she battles an overcrowded classroom, a severe lack of resources, and oppressively hot weather. Yet, despite all of these factors working against her, she has created such an engaging and positive classroom environment for her students. I am very happy to say that Angelina's hard work and dedication finally paid off earlier this year. Now that Angelina has acquired these skills and classroom experience, she was transitioned to a paid position at the same school and now receives a full salary. That's when I know we've done a good job, when people like Angelina no longer need our support. And now I know there are 50 kids sitting in Angelina's classroom getting a great education. That makes me really hopeful about the future of Timor-Leste.
Thanks to your generosity, Mary MacKillop International has been able to support over 1,000 volunteer teachers, just like Angelina, distribute over 100,000 Tetum language books in Timor-Leste, and assist more than 100 women in Peru to provide for their families and communities. During this feast time of Mary MacKillop, we ask you to hold these people in your hearts and respond to their needs. With your help, we seek to spread the loving, generous spirit of Mary MacKillop to those most in need. So I do ask you to please donate to Mary MacKillop International today. Your donation will create a brighter future by spreading Mary MacKillop's legacy for generations to come.